she was so much nicer to me than I was to her. We're wanting to torture each other with dead wolves. What's up with that? This book I thought was going to be my least favorite of all of them, and it is so fun. Would it even be me a video if it wasn't late? Hello, my little gumdrops. Actually, that sounds really good right now. I think it's on my mind because we're about to go to book club, and we read this, and if you know, you know. I'm introducing this video, so I'm filming this after the fact. I got an idea, actually, thanks to one of you who left a comment in my suggestion post saying what you wanted me to do as a thank you for 1,000 subscribers. One of you said, reading booktubers hated and loved. And so I don't really know many booktubers at this point because I'm introverted and I'm a lurker. But I do know my friend Chantaal. We've known each other for years on the internet. And she has a channel, which I would love for you guys to check her out anyway. But this was like the perfect opportunity because they say the best way to grow and find a community on Booktube is to collaborate with other booktubers. So that's what we're doing here. Now, we ended up deciding that we didn't want to do each other's most hated because that seemed just like really negative. Like you're taking a book that you hated and then like foisting it on someone, and we just weren't. I mean, there's a time and place for that, and those videos can be fun, and maybe I'll do one in the future. But we decided it would be more fun to do 2 books, one that we're an outlier on. So everybody else or the majority of people don't like this book, but you really like it and you want the other person to join you. And then the second book is one of your favorites that the other person hasn't read. So 2 books. Now, as you'll see, Pippin, oh, he's fucking up my puzzle. Pippin! So we ended up picking 2 books for each other, although as you'll see, we both, without communicating to each other, picked backups for each other. So I thought that was funny. I think we were just really on the same wavelength, and I'm very excited to watch her video, which I will link down below in my doobly-doo, where she reads the books I picked for her. And with that, let's go back a couple of weeks. Intro me will have just introed this. I just got Chantaal's TBR for me, and I am way too impatient and curious to wait until I'm actually ready to start this vlog. So I'm gonna watch my TBR reveal right now and then start the books next week, probably sometime. I wanna watch this right now. So we're gonna react to it at the same time. Okay, let's go.
Okay, Ashley, TBR time. So,
oh wait, I should put my earphones in. Hold on. Okay, let's try this again.
Okay, Ashley, TBR time. So, 2
She's so cute with her pink
options that
hair.
we decided on. A book that we are outliers on and want the other person to join us in loving it. And a book that we love that we want the other person to love too. First one, do you know how hard this was? Because, first of all, by outliers,
I put her at a disadvantage because she doesn't know this, but I got the idea to pick the outlier as a category because I wanted her to read Book of Night. So I didn't have a hard time at all with that.
To make this a little easier, I went with anything below a 3.5 on Goodreads.
This makes sense.
That I loved. So that made it a little easier, but a lot of stuff I agreed with people. The reason they're low is because they're not great books, but also a few things I picked you had already read.
That happens.
But I did get an option, so I have one and I have a backup.
Sweet, I did backups too
on the TBR. Just in case.
I'm happy.
But for the first one, book that I am an outlier on and I want the masses to join in, I picked Feed Them Silence by Lee Mandello for you.
This is because she did this. She did this because we both read In the Woods So Black, is that what it's called? And loved it. Oh, P.S. I wanted to say before I get to it, I do think there is a book she's going to pick for me. I think she might pick The Raven Scholar. Otherwise, besides this, I have no idea what she's going to pick for me.
I think this is on your TBR already.
It is.
So on Goodreads, this has a 3.48 with 3,800 ratings. This came out in 2023. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It is a short novella, but it is essentially sort of
nicer to me
near
than I was to her.
Low sci-fi where
I picked bigger books.
This main character has this neural net where they implanted a chip, a neural net in a wolf, and she takes, puts on this neural net and she can actually see through the wolf, sense everything. So she starts to get a little obsessed. Her marriage is falling apart, she starts to get obsessed with doing this work, and then the more she works, the more her marriage falls apart. So it's not the happiest book, but I thought it was so well written. The balance between the main character's personal life and the work life and how they both informed each other was really, really good. I think it ended in a way that made sense to me. I want you to love this so that we can both love this and make up for all the people who didn't quite agree with the ending or didn't feel satisfied with the ending or with the rest of the book. I think some people say it was a little depressing, but I didn't find it depressing. I just found it hit a nerve with me, and it really surprised me in that it hit a nerve with me because I didn't know what to expect going in. So I really loved this. I hope you love it too, and we can love it together. The backup I had is The Genesis of Misery by Neon Yang. This does have a lower rating. It's a 3.41, but I loved Feed Them Silence a little bit more than I loved Genesis of Misery. I gave this 4.5 stars. Feed Them Silence was 5 stars for me. It was a favorite of the year when I read it. So this is a space kind of fantasy with sort of a take on Joan of Arc, where Misery, the main character, is starting to hear voices and she believes she's going insane, but it takes her on a journey where she starts like fighting in space mechs and stuff like that. I think a lot of people didn't quite vibe with Misery as a character, and especially where the story went with her, but I liked it. I liked where it went. I liked where it ended. I did the first time I tried to read this, when I first bought it, I did like soft DNF it, and then I came back to it like, I don't know, a year later, and I devoured it. I really liked it. So backup, if for whatever reason this is your backup.
It's interesting that she said that book, because I have another friend who loves it, and I keep thinking about putting it on my TBR, but I don't know if I actually want to, so maybe I will. But I think I'm going to read Feed Them Silence instead. Lily, would you just stop? Just lay down. I'm trying to watch Chantaal.
For a book that I loved and I want you to love, I had quite a few options, but I am going with Pet by Akweke Emezi. This is on your TBR. I was really stunned by how good this was and how takes the topic of a very serious topic of child SA and not only puts it in a framework for a middle grade, lower YA audience, but it just treats it with such care, and it places it in this world where it's like a future kind of utopia where all the monsters have been banished, like it's, there's no crime, etc. But then if you grew up with no monsters and you don't know what monsters look like, how can you protect yourself from a monster in your home?
Lily, stop. She's rubbing her face all over my computer and it's moving. While I have this stopped, she was so much nicer to me than I was to her. This is a short book, and so is Feed Them Silence. Maybe I'll read all 3 for her, because I feel bad, because I picked a 500 plus page epic fantasy book. I think it might be longer than 500 pages. And then like a 300-ish page fantasy book, but that has really small font, so I think it might actually be longer than it looks. I feel bad. So maybe I'll read 3 books for her and not tell her.
So all of the child essay is off page. Our main character, I think her mother has like this kind of magical painting-ish, and she kind of finishes it and a monster comes up out of the painting, but that's not the monster. But his name is Pet, and he comes alive because there is a monster in her town. The main character is named Jam. There is a monster in Jam's town. There's a monster in Jam's best friend's house, and they have to hunt the monster down and save her best friend. So it's so good. It's so well done. And if you do read this, do the audio. The audiobook narrator is amazing with Pet, the character, and really great with everything else, but it really brings everything to life. So yes, this is so good. Read it. This is my pick for you.
Sweet. Oh,
backup.
God, there's another backup.
And I was surprised you hadn't read this yet. This is How You Lose the Time War backup, if you want to. If you want to read this instead of Pet, I'm totally down with it, because this
I'm not going to read, but only because I have it set for later this year, because they're releasing a special edition of it that I like much better than the original cover, and it's coming to my house, so I'll read it then. But I would otherwise read this also.
This is literally one of my favorite books of all time. TBR is done. You've got Feed Them Silence by Lee Mandello and Pet by Kweke Emezi. I think those are two really good options, and hopefully this will go well for you. I hope you love them, but I won't feel bad. I'm not like so attached to these that I'll feel, you know, awful if you don't love them, but I hope you love them. And I think at a minimum, you will give them at least 3.5 to 4 stars. Fingers crossed. Okay, let's go. Yay.
She's so cute. Okay, so this is good. I wanted to read all of these books. I don't think any of them are ones that I would have gotten to anytime soon. So this is good. This is it's fun to do these kinds of things. My inclinations lately would not have led me to that, even though they're both short, and you'd think that I would read more short books, but I don't. Anyway, let's get to reading. Back to future me. Heading to the library. Just got a notice that all 3 books are in. Think. I'm still waiting on the audio for 2 of them, but we're gonna go pick up the hardcovers. Hi. Wait. I want to see how low I can go. Wow. Okay, so normally I can't. Can I go lower? I can hit the low notes now. I should find a song that has like a bass singer and just go to town. Just wanted to check it because I'm starting to read. So because Chantaal is so nice to me, the books that I have to read for this video are not very long. So I am going to read Feed Them Silence right now and before I go to bed. And then my plan, knock on wood, is to start the Genesis of Misery tomorrow. And I have that on audio and I'm going to do it. And I'm fully prepared to DNF, just so you know, because if I'm not liking, I'm not going to force myself through it while sick and also on a time crunch, because it is currently Wednesday and I have to get all of these books read before Sunday morning so I can edit. So, and then I'm going to save Pet for last because I think that's going to be the one I like the most. I have the audio and the hard copy of that one, and I should be able to bust that one out really quick because it's got big font and it's little. So anyway, I will check in, honestly, probably just once I finish this, because, look, I just want to try something real quick. Baby, lock the door and turn the lights down low. Put some music on that's soft and slow. Baby, we ain't got no place to go. I hope you understand. Baby, lock the door and turn the lights down low. Feeling better, but I have some bad news. I have some bad news and I have some good news. Bad news is, unfortunately, with Feed Them Silence, I am not with the outliers. I am with the masses on this one. But I haven't had a chance to look at the reviews yet. I don't know if why I didn't like it is the same. So here's what's going on. So this book, for those of you who don't know, by Lee Mandello, is a sci-fi book. It's also classified as horror, but I don't think it's horror. Like, sci-fi can be scary and eerie without being horror. And I don't think this is horror. The point of it is not to scare you. It's not. So this is essentially a character study and a story about, and this is why I don't like it, a failing marriage or failing relationship. I hate books about failing relationships. I hate them. It is the same reason I do not like exorcism stories or possession stories, because those books are always about the dissolution of relationships. I don't want to read that. I just don't want to read it. I don't. It hasn't, I mean, this book is very good. It's very well written. I clearly see what the author is going for. But anyway, let's talk about, in addition to being about a failing relationship, that's like thematic essentially, like other stuff is failing at the same time as the main character's relationship. She has pioneered, sorry if it's bouncing, I'm in the car, obviously. She has pioneered a use for an existing technology that is obviously sci-fi, like it doesn't exist here and now, where she can essentially port an animal, in this case one of the last wolves of the last wild pack in the United States, into her brain and experience the emotions and instincts and essentially thoughts of a wolf in her own brain. And she has jumped through many hoops, ethical and non-ethical, to get this research going and to get this project going. She failed to get the research from any scientific or academic grants, and instead turned to a corporation. So, one of her first mistakes of many. And anyway, so she gets it up. Her wife hates the project. And it has shown her a lot of what her wife is actually like and who her wife actually is in the process. And so the reasons that they're stating this is unethical, obviously the wolf can't consent. But also, she is essentially doing this expensive thing and telling people, and even telling herself sort of, that the reason she's doing it is for research and to make the world a better place and blah 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 blah. And in reality, she's just doing it because she wants to be a wild animal, and she would rather bond with wild animals who don't actually know who she is than do the hard work and become emotionally intimate with her wife or literally anyone else in her life. And I really do not like her. And I don't have a problem necessarily with unlikable protagonists, because I feel like if a character isn't unlikable, at least to some extent, they're not really human. Like, humans are flawed and they do stupid things. But she is, I honestly just feel such contempt for her, because she's so self-deluded. I would have more respect for her if she would just straight up say, I'm doing this because I want to. This is what I want, and I don't care what I have to do to get it. I will lie. I will whatever. I will accept corporate money because I really want to fulfill a childhood fantasy of being a wolf in a wolf pack with unconditional acceptance. And I think that's part of it, is that she thinks it's easier to get intimacy and a relationship as an animal than it is as a person, because you don't have to talk. It's all instinct, and people don't run on instinct. You have to work hard. And anyway, in terms of the wider world, people are mad at her in this study because obviously this takes place in the future where climate change is a real huge problem, obviously, if they're the last wolf pack. And she is using money and time and energy and resources that could be spent actually helping. And then the book lists several things, like when she has one of her many fights with her wife that the money could be used for, or that she could be focused on, and instead she's just focused on this one thing that makes her act incredibly selfishly. And anyway, I just want to tell the wife, run, just leave, just go. This woman is a black pit that you're gonna drown yourself in, that you're gonna die and get stuck in and then get fossilized. Just run. It's tough because I get it, and it's not supposed to be pleasant. It's supposed to be emotionally hard-hitting, but I think I'm supposed to in some ways relate to the main character, whose name I have forgotten. I remember the wife though. The wife's name is Rhea. Only sane character in this book, but also I have not a lot of respect for her either, because she stays with this woman. I would have been out of there so fast. I would have been like, you're fucking delusional. She refuses to go to therapy, and then when she does go to therapy, she doesn't listen to the fucking therapist. And Rhea knows this, and she stays anyway. And I just like, I don't know. I'm not in a relationship, obviously, so I feel like I'm not the best person. Maybe that, I'm sure those two things are related, why I hate reading about failing relationships and why I'm not in one. I don't know. Aside from the asexual thing. I don't know. But anyway, I'm so sorry, Chantaal. But you could not know that I hate reading about this subject. Also, spoilers. Spoilers for both this book and one of the books I picked for Chantaal, which was Fool's Errand. Was it Fool's Errand? Oh my God, my brain. I'm sorry, I have sick brain still. I'm on medication. I think it's Fool's Errand. Spoilers for both. The wolf dies in both. We're wanting to torture each other with dead wolves. What's up with that? Yeah, because anyway, for those of you who don't care about being spoiled for this, obviously would have skipped. Because of this woman's research, it starts to get weird and messed up in a certain way, and so the corporation decides to kill the wolf and dissect it. So not only has she not helped anything, she has literally made everything worse and killed the wolf that she thought was so important to her. So good job, main character, good job. God, what was her name? I'll put it here. Anyway, I'm so sorry, Chantaal. I'm so sorry. This feels bad. I really wish I could have liked it for you. Yeah, but I'm torn on the rating. I'll have to run it through my call pile, and I'll tell you later. I'm leaning towards 2.5 stars, rounded up to 3, because I do realize this is almost completely personal preference, this rating. So this one wasn't a great success. Moving on though, and I just want to talk about this one really quick because I'm almost where I need to be going. One of my good friends, her son is having his first communion, and I am going. So I have started, and actually I am 62% of the way into the Genesis of Misery. This book I thought was going to be my least favorite of all of them, and it is so fun. Actually, well, it's not really fun, but I'm having fun. So this one, I'll talk about this in a second, but essentially this book is broadly Joan of Arc in space. So the main character's name is Misery no Maki, and she actually is named after a spaceship that brought her ancestors from Earth into space, and I can't remember the full name of the ship. I'll put it here. And she, her whole life, has known that she was going to go what they call void mad, which is, I don't ask me to explain what it means. I don't understand. That's one of the reasons this probably isn't going to get a 5, because I don't understand it, everything. But she essentially hallucinates these beings that call themselves angels and who have been telling her what to do. And she's on the run when we meet her at the start of the book, but very quickly she gets roped into working with the space church and the monarchy, the empire, and starts training as like a mech pilot, because there's mechs in this book. And I literally don't even know how to explain this book to you, because I don't understand it. But my main summary of my main reaction to this book is that I don't really know what's going on, but I'm having a good time. Which is funny, because I've read books like this before, and actually 2 books come to mind where I had a similar experience that were similarly about, they don't hold your hand and they just drop you into the narrative and expect you to catch up and learn what all the terms mean and like the way the world works. And that is The Archive on Dying and Nine Fox Gambit. So these 2 books I did not like. I DNF'd The Archive on Dying because I had previously read Nine Fox Gambit. It was reminding me of that, and I was like, I'm not doing this again. And the Nine Fox Gambit was one of those books that was like, what the is going on? What the are you talking about? It was so impenetrable. And it was so impenetrable that I could not enjoy what was probably a good character story. But I couldn't enjoy it because I didn't know what the was going on. There's dropping somebody in and not holding their hand, but giving them enough information they can piece things together. And then there's like dropping somebody in with stones wrapped around their ankles and their hands tied. And that's what Nine Fox Gambit was. Man, I should lower my rating from 3 stars to 2 on that one because it really has not aged well in my memory. Anyway, I did finish that one. I did not finish Archive Undying. And there's another one where I was like, what the fuck is going on? Quit making impenetrable books. Impenetrable does not mean smart. Smart is not impenetrable. Something can be smart and accessible. Like, make your reader do some work. Don't make them want to, like, cry in a corner. It's just, anyway. This book is the opposite of that. I don't know why. Maybe it's the author's prose. Maybe it's the characters. Maybe it's just doing what these other authors couldn't, in that the important stuff is easy to follow and you can latch onto it, and the rest of the stuff sort of trickles in and you sort of get the idea of what's going on. I will admit, I'm doing it by audio. I have the hard copy, but I'm doing it by audio. So I'm sure there's stuff that I've missed by not paying as fully attention as I could, because I always do that. I would not be opposed though, because I mean, this was originally, I think, going to be part of a series, but I don't know if it sold well enough, and if there's ever going to be continuations of the series. So I don't know, but I'm 61% of the way through. I'm enjoying it. I don't love it, but I like it a lot, and part of that is because I don't fully understand what's going on. And this one actually has a lower rating. It has a 3.41, and I think Defeat Them Silence has like a 3.55 or something like that, 3.52. So more people like that one than like this one, but I like this one better. So I don't know what's going on with me. So yeah, that's what's going on so far. I will talk about like themes and more generally what I think of the actual book, rather than my experience of reading the book, in my next update, which will be probably tonight, because I think when I get home from this little shindig, I'm going to do a jigsaw puzzle. Because I have one, and I have to finish this audiobook, and I don't have work or car rides. That's it. Check in later. Anyway. Ben, you don't always have to be involved. You don't always have to be involved. This isn't a Pippin time. It's not Pippin time. It's not Pippin. Can you say hi to everyone? Say no. I'm puzzing. This is a puzzle I'm doing. What are you doing? Hey. Can you? Yeah, that's really helpful. That's exactly what that's for. Come here. Come here. Look me in the face. Look me in the face. Say I can't. I know what I'm doing is bad. Anyway, let's finish Genesis of Misery. Alright, I gotta take a break from the puzzle because my back hurts. Pippin, of course, was a menace for the first hour and a half, maybe, I don't know. And then I locked him in the bathroom, and then he was a menace again, and then he calmed down. But by then, now my back hurts. I think I was like 3.5 hours of puzzling just then. So I got 93% in my book, and I think I'm going to be very unhappy with how the book ends. I mean, I know what type of story it's going. I can feel it. Obviously, there's a very flawed character at the center of this, and I've divorced myself from her emotionally right now because she's making terrible choices, and I can't do anything about it. So I think what I'm going to do is, I have about an hour left of the audiobook, but I'm listening to it on like 1.35, 1.4 speed. So I should be able to finish it while I get ready for bed and change my sheets and all that stuff. So that will be probably the last thing that I update before I go to bed, and then in the morning I'm going to edit. But right now I'm going to eat some dinner, and I'm going to read Pet, which should not take me long at all. I'm very excited. This is how far I got. I can tell this puzzle's kind of old because some of the books on here, like you can't see this, but it's Fire by Kristen Kishore and like One for the Money by Janet Ivanovich. It's just a really random puzzle. I think it was maybe not authorized. I think it's like a really small company that did this. I don't know, but it's been good. It's been good. I like it. Hi, I'm going to bed. It's 8:30. I can't keep my eyes open. So, oops, I just realized I have my night guard in. Oops. Basically, I'm on page 80, and I can finish this really quick tomorrow morning. So that's what I'm going to do, because this reminds me of like when I was in college and high school and I was supposed to read something, and like the more I knew I had to read it, the less I could stay awake. So that's what's happening. Although this is really good, so, but I'll talk about it in the morning. I just wanted to check in. It's Sunday morning and you're probably watching this on Sunday, Chantal. I just saw that you uploaded your video, so would it even be me a video if it wasn't late? Let's wrap up this vlog. I have to tell you, first of all, I finished the audio of Genesis of Misery and it turned out pretty much like I expected, so I can't spoil things, but I was satisfied by the ending of this. So a lot of this, what I can say for those of you who are interested to know what this book is really about, other than somebody who sees angels and there's mechs, basically thematically this is about, similar to Dune but in space. Wait, Dune is in space, never mind. This book is about what it happens when you are afflicted with a messiah. It's a little different though, because Paul kind of actually is the messiah in Dune. Like, he has the powers that everyone said that he would have. He's basically all powerful, but Misery just thinks she's the messiah by the end, and she does so much damage on her way. And also you find out at the end, like, if you're hearing voices, if you're seeing things, maybe you're not losing your mind, but also who is talking to you? Not a thought that ever goes through her mind. She goes by she, they, by the way, so I'll probably say like she, they interchangeably. And then the end, there's like a character, two characters who we've been seeing on and off throughout the novel, who we at the beginning believe are delusions, are talking to each other, and then they reveal something that really makes me want a sequel. They're like, why didn't you tell Misery who you really are? They would have, you know, who knows? And then they're, so, and it's like super implied spoilers. It's super implied that maybe the AI that like betrayed humanity is back. Chantal, is that what's going on? Is that what you think what's going on? Anyone else has read this? Anyway, I'm always here for criticisms of AI. And oh boy, this is, if that's what this is a doozy. Sorry, people who didn't want spoilers. But yeah, I really like this. I'm giving it a 4. I might like it more in the future, but I don't think it would ever be a 5, but I might consider bumping it up to a 4.5 if I ever reread it, if there is a sequel that can like further explore the things that I'm interested in, and also if I reread with my eyes, because the audio was good and I liked it and I got through it really fast and it was really fun, but I think there was definitely stuff I missed. So 4 stars. And then I am settling on a 3 for this, because I recognize that it is not even 2.5 rounded up to 3, just a 3, because I ran it through Cawpile and it's just too well written. It's too well constructed. The thematics are very purposeful. It's just that I happen to not love it. It's not my preference, so it's a 3. By the way, did you on purpose choose non-binary authors, Chantal? Did you know that you did that? Non-binary? This, I'm pretty sure. Wait, I'm unsure if they're non-binary or trans, because I swear I saw somebody refer to them as they, them, and those were their pronouns, they, them, or him. But now I like Googled it and it says he, him. So I'm not positive on this one, but Nian Yang is also non-binary. Also, angels. Chantal, where was your head just in a space? Non-binary angels, is that what we're doing? Definitely all 3 of these are queer, by the way, so that's thematically appropriate. But let's talk about Pet, and this is the last thing that will be in this video because I loved this book. I've been avoiding Akwaeke Emezi for a while. I don't know why. They're just one of those authors that I don't know. I just didn't want to read because I was being stubborn because everybody freaking loves them, and this was the exact push that I needed to finally read one of their books, and this was great. So what this is about is it's a middle grade, like high middle grade, young adult book about Jam, who is a young trans girl, but that's incidental. Her mother is a painter, and she lives in this, I want to say it's sort of an allegorical, magical, realistic society, because it's a little bit simplified, but I think that's more of a literary technique, and I don't think this is supposed to be realist. I don't know. The tone is a little bit hard to pin down in terms of description, but they talk about this town that's somewhere in the United States where they have gotten rid of all monsters, and monsters in this case are not like werewolves, vampires. They are people who do bad things, corrupt systems. There's no crime, there's no exploitation, there's supposedly no abuse, and they live in a time where none of that stuff happens anymore, so they don't learn about it, they don't talk about it. They call the people who were behind the revolution, that's what they call it, the revolution, which I didn't know a city could have a revolution, which is an interesting thing to think about. It's not a countrywide revolution, just a city. But again, that's part of the like magical realism aspect, like that it's not like really a real place. It's like this undefined limbo space, sort of, because if this could never happen in a nation without the nation also happening to the nation. Does that make sense? Like realistically, like it's not realistic. But basically there's the angels and the monsters, and the angels didn't kill all the monsters, they put them away. I think they mentioned, I could be wrong, that the monsters are like they're not in jail, they're trying to be reformed. They're trying to be better, but it's essentially jail. It's a very black and white view of things. And at first I wasn't quite sure of what to make of it, because they mentioned, like, for example, that all policemen were considered monsters, all police. And that is a very black and white statement. And I think, hopefully, at least most people who are following me would agree that the system in which the police operate certainly is to blame for a lot of things. But on the individual level, people are there trying to do good, and there's corrupt people, just like anywhere. Although I personally believe probably there's a lot more people who use that institution as a mask. But anyway, this is not a video about police brutality, but I just wanted to point that out because I was like, oh, because you never know, some people really are that far left and radical where all police are bad. Like, that's a real belief that a lot of people have. So I wasn't sure if the author was holding to that belief or not, but I'm pretty sure that they don't. They have a more gray area view of everything and morality, because later on in the book, Pet, who is the creature that Jam brings to life from her mother's painting with her blood, because her mother can paint things that come to life, which there's a prequel called Bitter about her mother and this specific thing happening over and over again. Jam was raised in this society where nothing bad happens, everything is good, everything is bad, people are angels or people are monsters. So therefore, she is ill-equipped to actually recognize the monstrous and the evil when she sees it, and that requires her to make some cognitive leaps in this book in terms of her worldview and the paradigm in which she looks at the world, like morally and ethically, and say things are more complicated than I've been taught. And the fact that she, like the people, she's an in-between almost. Maybe that's why the author chose to make her trans, because she's in flux. And so there's something about her young, more malleable mind that is more easily able to learn and to accept these changes that are kind of like world shaking. And at the beginning of the book, when Pet makes himself known to her parents, because right away she brings him into the world, and then he's like, we're going to go talk to your parents, which I thought was hilarious. Because like in these books, the like magical companion is always a secret from the parents, and the parents are not involved. But here, he's like, we're going to talk to your parents right now. And so he takes her up to the bedroom, and then they fight because they know about Bitter's ability to bring things out of paintings. They don't see that Jam is in there, and then they fight. And so she sees this discord between them and their unwillingness to believe that Pet is there, because he's there. He said he was called forth to hunt a monster, and the monster specifically is in her best friend Redemption's house, and he needs her to help him hunt this monster. And the idea that a monster is in this house that Jam has always thought of as a place full of love and life and happiness and support and warmth and comfort, and she has a really hard time like making the cognitive leap there at first, but eventually she does manage it. And this is, like Chantaal said, a book that alludes to CSA, and I mean, it was really tastefully done. It was. It's not really mentioned, it's just alluded to, and there's absolutely no details. The only thing we really see is that the child in question has bruises on their arms. That, I just thought that was really interesting, that the parents are so rigid in their belief, and it's like, I don't know. I liked the way that was like, the pet is like condemning the black and white thinking, but then even at the end, there's this great moment where Jam has to like call Pet to task and be like, no, you're thinking in black and white now. Think about, all you're thinking about is you right now and what you want. If we do it your way, because once they catch the monster, then it's going to leave so many more people open to harm in the future just because you're going to get what you want. So it's great. It's great. It was so great. I gave this 5 stars. I want to find, I still can't find the quote though. Hold on. Okay, I can't find it. I should have marked it. I knew I should have marked it. You know, I need a copy of this. I want to buy this, and I want to buy this. So this is going on my wish list. There was this moment where he was like talking to her about things are not black and white. Things are not simple. You want to see things to seem simple, and so therefore you do not see what is there to be seen. And there's this whole metaphor running throughout the book about things that are seen and unseen. And he literally walks down the street with her next to him, and he's not hiding himself really, but people don't want to see him because he doesn't fit into their paradigm. So there's several moments in the book where she talks about how she can see both versions of the world while she's, you know, busy making that transition and sort of growing up in a sense, where she can see the illusion of safety and happiness and simpleness and non-complexity without him in it, and then the other one that's right alongside it is automatically more complicated because he's in it. I don't know, it was really good. So 5 stars, Pet. Thank you, Chantal. I am in agreement with you that this is a great book. So that's this video. I think it was a success. I was probably a little harsh on this book because I didn't feel good, so take that, my review of this, with a grain of salt. I agree that it doesn't deserve to be called a bad book. It's a very good book. It's just not always pleasant. Thank you to Chantal for doing this with me, and also thank you for watching. If you have made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. If you would like to leave me a comment but don't want to really say anything, please leave me, is there a wolf emoji? Either a wolf or some sort of a angel or monster or wings or something. I don't know. Just leave me an emoji. Who cares? Of your choosing. If you liked the video, please don't forget to give me a like and subscribe if you want to. I always appreciate that. And that's that. I hope you're having a great day and that you have a great rest of whatever day you're watching this on, and that you are not sick. I think I'm on the tail end of it though. I'm on the tail end of it. I gotta go to book club and upload this video. So we're gonna go. Okay, love you, bye.